Hi, welcome to another Art at Home for Refugee Roots. I'm Ant and it's lovely to see you again. This is our 7th week and it's our 3rd watercolour workshop. So we've done some colour wheels, the birds that I still need to finish painting, and some lovely, last week, some lovely warm and cool crayon wax resist watercolours, and a couple of these pattern circles. So by now you should be building up a little pile of artwork, and please do keep it because it'd be lovely to see it all when we can meet in person. And also later on this year we'll be collecting things up to try and display. So anything you make, it's always lovely to see. So if you've got a little folder, or you can just fold a piece of paper around to keep it all together, just make sure you keep all your artwork because it's really nice. So this week we're doing our beach silhouettes. Week 7 watercolour beach silhouette, and you need your 1 sheet of watercolour paper, your watercolour tin, brush and water, a pencil, black paper, so you should have one of these black cards or paper, scissors and glue stick, and a colouring pencil or crayon if you've got it. Doesn't matter the colour really, and also if you've got it, a tissue. So let's start. A beach silhouette. So a silhouette is a dark shape or shadow of an object. So it's an outline of an object. So I'll show you the example. So when you're looking at something very light like the sky, and things in the distance look really shadowy, so you can't really see any details, that's a silhouette. And this is an imaginary one of a beach scene with the hills or mountains and a kind of tree or palm tree. So that's what I mean by silhouette. It's an outline of a shape or a thing or a person. So let me try and get a good angle. Is that a bit better? Yeah, let me clear my desk. I've got the white paper on. This is a scrap piece of paper for me to just show you, because it's a bit easier sometimes than against my white desk, but you don't need this. Although you can put a scrap piece of paper down to catch the little bits of watercolour. So this time I think I'm going to do it portrait, so that way up. You can do it landscape if you want, it's up to you, there's no wrong way. And we're going to take our watercolour paper and brush water all over it. So what I mean by that is take your brush. If you've got a small brush, you might need to dab it on your paper quite a few times. My water's a little bit dirty, so you can see there's a bit of colour on it, but yours will just look completely clear. And we're just wetting the paper. And next we're going to paint at the top or bottom red. So it depends on your beach scene. So I'm going to go for quite warm colours. We can go for a blue colour as well, which might make more sense actually for if we want to think about the sea. So I might do red at the top for the sky and wash my brush, make sure the water's wet again because it does dry quite quickly, and then get a blue for the bottom here. So I've do it in red. You can do both bits in red. It's not wrong to do that. I just thought for today I'm going to make a bit of the sea blue here, and then the next step, wet the paper, and we're going to do, oh, make sure you wash your brush out, and we're going to do some orange at the top and orange at the bottom, so a kind of band of orange. And you see I'm just blending it on the paper into the red so it mixes. You can use a bit of water to do this as well. Mix it down. I'm mixing it up. So we've got some orange going on, and then these are quite light washes. You can do it a bit darker. Next one, wet the paper again. Mine's still a bit wet, and in the middle I'm going to do a yellow. And again, blend it up and down into the orange. So we're going to mix it in. Something like that. Again, you can choose. You can do red both ends. You can do blue both ends. We can you can make a purple and mix that in. It's completely up to you. The colours, as long as they're blended through on the paper. Now this is quite wet now, but it is watercolour paper, so it's quite thick, so it will take all the water, but it does need to dry for a little bit. So I'm just going to pop it aside to dry, and whilst we do that, we're going to get our black paper, which I'll put now onto white. Our black paper and pencil, and draw some beach shapes. So think about a scene, maybe hills, up at sand dunes, palm trees, anything that you want to be in your kind of shadow. And let's draw. So I'm going to do some mountains. So we're going to go up and down, and then up and down, and cut this out. Now I've said make sure they've got a straight edge at the bottom. So you see I've done it right at the edge of this one to use the straight edge, because that will be our horizon line. You know, when you look at the beach where the sea meets the sky, and there's that line, that will be our horizon. So that is a bit of our mountain, and I might do a palm tree as well. So on the other side I'm going to use this flat edge, and I'm going to which way will it be leaning? Sometimes they lean quite far over as well, don't they? I might do quite a leany one. So like this, and then a palm tree. Trying to think about the shape of the leaves. They're normally quite big leaves. Might not be able to see that, but you'd be able to see it for you to cut along. So again, once you've drawn it, just cut around it. Don't worry if you can still see the pencil marks if you've gone over it a few times like me, because you can turn the piece of paper over. So yeah, so if you can still see the pencil lines a bit, turn it over and you can use that side as the front. It's a little bit damp. I'm just going to pop it on my radiator to dry a bit more if the heating's on. If you've got a warm spot anywhere, in your room, a radiator or a warm cupboard. You pop it in there for a minute whilst we finish this. So just trying to think of what we're doing next. So we've got a palm tree, mountains, maybe a little kind of grassy area, little, I called it sand dune, so that's when there's quite a lot of grassy kind of hills on the sand. You might have seen a beach like it. You might be remembering when you did, if you have gone to a beach, or just imagining what this beach could look like. I remember I went to a Norfolk beach a few years ago, and that was really pretty. It had a woodlands, like lots of trees, it had sand dunes, and lots of hills as well, and a really nice sandy beach. It was lovely. Didn't have a palm tree though, so this is probably not from a Norfolk beach, but yeah, so a little bit of grass there, maybe poking out of our mountain. Lovely. So we've cut them out. Let's bring back our watercolor. Hopefully it's dried a little bit and decided which way up we're going to have it. If I do this facing you guys now, I'm going to set my mountains. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention. It's got to be as wide as your paper. So I've got my paper portrait that way, so the mountains are that way. If I did it landscape that way, my stripes of colours would be going this way, and my mountainscape I would have done widthways as well on this sheet of paper, if that makes sense. So now let's glue it on top. So get your glue stick, just need to take the lid off and twist the bottom to lift it up. Should be quite sticky and new, but they do need the lids replacing afterwards, otherwise they do stop getting so sticky, which is a shame. So hopefully you've got a nice new one sent to you, or one, if it does have a kind of stuff on the top, you can scrape it off with the scissors, and the underneath will be sticky enough to stick again. So just thinking about where to place everything. Stick it down. And again, on the back we glue our palm tree. And think about all those lovely, I might do that, all those lovely beaches and sunsets. This actually looks quite a lot like a sunset. I'm just gonna fold that over. Oh, and our grassy little reeds or sand dune. I'll pop this under there. So that's it. I'll draw a sun. So you can do a sun in a few ways. If you've got your tissue, you can dip it in your watercolor water and do a little, dab it on the paper and twist. So let me show you that again. So I've got damp tissue, I've just put a bit of tissue paper in my water and I've put it on the page and I've twisted it round. This is probably more effective with a sponge, but I think tissue is something everyone will have at home. Even toilet paper or kitchen roll will do it. It might make it a bit bobbly, though, but you can kind of see from afar it looks quite nice. Or you can get your colouring pencil or crayon. I think I will try with a colouring pencil, and you can draw very lightly, sketch a kind of circle round. Can you see? And again, the paper's a bit damp, so it might look a bit strange. So very lightly. There we go. You can even try and dab around the colouring pencil to make a kind of glow, because what the tissue does is it takes up the paint that you've put down. So you can kind of use it to take paint away. So yeah, you might just need to blow off the little bits, and I might colour in a bit more. It's not so sketchy. Just experiment. You might not want to do this. You might want to keep it to just a tissue circle, tissue paper like glow. You might want to colour it in. There we go. So that's our beach silhouette. I hope you have fun making it, drawing sun and some nice places, and enjoy it. Just remember to pop the lid back on the glue. Thanks, and I'll see you next week. Have a good week. Stay safe. Bye.